big millennial career crisis.
AI is coming into play.
There is quite a lot of pressure.
We're trying to attach ourselves to a job title that might not exist anymore. Hey guys, welcome back to What I Wish I Knew Sooner. I'm Serenity.
And I'm Senna. We are both digital marketers and creators.
And today we are talking about the topic that everyone is talking about at the moment, the big millennial career crisis.
What is the big millennial career crisis?
Well, it's essentially where everyone is just feeling like they don't know what they're doing with their life because we've been told to follow a certain path, which has led us nowhere.
Do you think that's also a quarter life crisis because we've all reached the same age?
I heard recently that when you're 30 or like 35, it's your midlife crisis because if you think about it, we die at like 80.
Oh God, that's great. But we're living longer.
Oh yeah, we are living longer.
Shouldn't our quarter life crisis be... Oh, I think... Do you mean that we have our quarter life crisis in our 30s instead of
Maybe.
25 now?
I don't know, I heard mid.
Because I thought we were like living till 100.
Oh, do we actually live to 100?
I'm hoping so.
Oh my God, I actually have no idea. Anyway, so the first question is, are millennials actually in a career crisis? Or are we just evolving? I think we're in a career crisis. I think that a lot of us, we were told to go to school, to university and follow society's rules. And, you know, we'd be successful. We would get a high paying job. We'd get a house and all of this stuff. But so many people can't even afford pasta. Or like, it's not even that. It's the fact that we are going towards a life or a system that isn't made for us anymore. AI is coming into play, which means, it doesn't mean we're going to lose our jobs, but it means that if you don't keep up with it, we will lose our jobs.
Yeah, because I think we both saw that post on social media where it was saying basically millennials were raised for a different world. Obviously, we were raised by parents that, you know, it was drilled into them to get one job, work hard at it, stick at it for years, and that'll set you up for a good life. You'll be able to buy a house, etc. Whereas now, like, the economy has changed, but also technology has changed. We obviously have AI now, so there's so many different impacts that has on the job market and career world. So I think that sends people into panic too. A lot of people are worried about whether their job will still even exist.
Yeah, like think about developers and designers. They've spent so many years training and learning how to code or how to use Adobe and all of these other tools. But now AI can just do it for you. Like me, I was doing photos of entrepreneurs, but they can all take their own photos now and just put an AI background on it.
Yeah, but it won't be as good as what you do.
No, thank you.
Like, I also read, though, that you don't have to necessarily be worried about AI taking your job at this point. It's more that you should be worried about people that use AI taking your job.
Yeah.
Because 100%. You do have to get on board with it and you do have to keep up.
Yeah.
Because I think there are people that are so anti-AI, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I 100% don't think you should be using it for everything because you don't want your brain to rot. You still want the ability to be able to think for yourself and write for yourself. But you should be harnessing it to do your job better.
Yeah. But this is where I feel like a lot of millennials, if you are feeling stuck or burnt out or just constantly in your head, I think it's an identity crisis. I think that we're trying to attach ourselves to a job title that might not exist anymore. But what you really need to do is go out there and find different things that make you happy. Like find what gives you purpose, because being a project manager or administrator, I'm pretty sure that's not your dream. Like there's other things you might enjoy, guitar or, you know, taking photos at the weekend or building a podcast like us. So I think find things out of your job title to give you purpose, and that's how you'll stop having a crisis. What do you
That's
think?
it. That's how you stop the crisis. I also saw another post about how you should find out what your talent is and like pursue that and think about what you can do that isn't necessarily a traditional route. Like a lot of news articles now are saying that not necessarily Gen Z, but the generation below that, is it Gen Alpha?
Yeah.
They will be creating their own new job roles that don't necessarily exist yet. And a lot of people are turning into creators or founders, building their own business from scratch because the same traditional roles just don't exist. Like, there's nothing really
No.
in the market at the moment.
And I think that's so right, because I've seen so many people like insanely niche down to something so specific, but people love it and people need help from that one person. So people are creating jobs like, I don't know, socks for dogs who...
Well, if you think about it, even more niche, you hear about personal branding all the time, right? And now there's personal brand experts. That wouldn't have existed.
No, not at all.
Years ago.
I think personal branding has only properly come into play in the last, like, you know, the Kim Kardashian selfie era. Like, that's when it started happening. But now everyone is trying to build a personal brand because they know that it's what makes them more human. If you're not building a personal brand, I guess you do feel like you're competing with AI. But otherwise, if you post stuff about yourself, no one can compete with you because there's no one else like you.
Yeah.
What do you think about people who wouldn't necessarily think about being a creator, but do you think they're feeling forced now to become a creator, or do you think you should become one because you enjoy it?
Yeah, I mean, I think you should only do anything if you enjoy it. I don't think you should ever feel forced. I think there is quite a lot of pressure because what you're saying about having a personal brand is so true, but at the same time, for someone that doesn't naturally feel comfortable talking about themselves all the time and putting themselves out there, it can feel like a lot. Like those kind of like stats you hear that if you don't have a personal brand, what is it, that you won't have a career in 5 years? Because like,
Really?
I think you mentioned it.
Did I? No, yeah. This year is the last year of like properly going all in on your personal brand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's scary.
Yeah, and everyone keeps saying it because it actually is, because AI is going to develop so fucking fast. Sorry, I swore again. So fast. And
If you don't keep up, you'll fall behind.
yeah, and loads of people this year especially are trying to create their brand because of that reason, and they're just trying to like jump on the bandwagon or whatever it's called now.
Yeah.
It's so annoying because obviously I do think everything happens for a reason, but I do kind of wish sometimes that I didn't go to university, because I feel like I see so many students just going to university because they come out of school and they're like, okay, I don't know what to do next. So they do that, but then they get themselves into so much debt, and then they have no job to go to afterwards because the market's just not good at the moment. And I just feel like instead of going to university, you could actually just come out of school and start working on your business. Personally, what do you think?
If you have a business idea though, but what if you genuinely don't know what you want to do yet?
I would say just kind of like do what you think you're skilled at. And something I learned at the Lara Acosta event the other day was that don't follow your passion, but follow your skill, because passion won't... Yeah.
Follow your talent. I will say though, because I hear a lot of people, I think even on this podcast, we've had a few guests mention the fact that they wish they didn't go to university.
Yeah.
I loved my university experience, and I would actually encourage people to go to university.
Really?
If they don't already know what they want to
Yeah.
do. If they do know what they want to do and university isn't going to help them,
Yeah.
fine, don't bother going. But I think for a lot of people, they would find themselves during those years. I
Yeah.
think they are formative years. I think I personally, I'm in a job now that is relevant to the degree that I did.
Yeah.
And I did learn a lot that I
Yeah.
still apply to this day. Could I have done it without going to university? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But do I regret it? No,
No.
not at all. I loved
Yeah.
it. I had the best time ever. That's
And I
formed
think-
me into the person I am now.
Exactly, and I think that's so important to recognise, because the experiences do shape you into who you are today.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so interesting, isn't it? Because I know that some people do go to university for that reason.
And that's okay though. I think it's okay to want to go for the experience too.
Yeah. I went because I needed to escape my house. Like, I literally needed somewhere to live that wasn't home. So I was like, okay, my next option is university. But otherwise, I think if I had a nice home life, then I probably would have just stayed at home and tried to work my way up through internships and work experience, and then see where that took me, because I studied media.
There are just so many options. Obviously, there's apprenticeships as well. You don't even necessarily need to go and build your own business.
No.
But you can do one of those schemes where you kind of learn on the job. There are way more options than just going to university.
Yeah. In terms of the millennial career crisis, I think what needs to happen now is that obviously millennials are becoming, you know, an older generation now. Yeah, like parents. So we need to kind of prepare our kids for the future and what careers will look like. I don't know if you saw in the news the other day, but it was like a 5% drop in the market, and that there's no jobs anymore, or there's some, but just not enough to cover everyone. So like look at that news and see where the world is going and encourage your kids to, you know,
Different things. Yeah.
try different things, see their skills and be like, okay, hone in on that skill because you're really fucking good at it. It can become something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think there's an issue though in being too specialised and too niche? Is it sometimes better to be a generalist and have options?
Know. Yeah. I don't know, because I keep hearing so many people say like niche down, and the better you niche, the better. The better than, yeah.
The more you niche.
Yeah.
But then if you take, for example, someone that has kind of made their career off a certain platform, for example, LinkedIn, what happens when that platform dies? Do you know what I mean?
What happens when your platform dies is you're smart about it and you build an email list, because if LinkedIn does go one day, you've got that backup, and people actually make more revenue through selling products through an email list.
Yeah, that's what I mean though. You do always need to have a backup.
Yeah, so you need to have different forms and streams of income. So not just like solely rely on like Instagram or TikTok. You need like your email newsletter, UGC. So yeah, there's just so much to think about. I'm feeling anxious now from the millennial career crisis. But
What do you think about, because I feel like millennials and Gen Z are a bit different in that like we kind of grew up with more hustle culture and like the girl boss era, whereas I've heard that like Gen Z are a bit more chilled about work. They value life more than they value working hard and staying up late and spending their weekends working, which I kind of agree with. I think I'm more on that side of thinking. I like to think of myself as a Zillennial anyway.
as a what?
A Zillennial. I'm the last year of a millennial.
I've never heard of that. Why? I'm a millennial because I've never heard of that.
I don't know if it's an actual term. I think maybe me and my friends made it up. But as in, like, I can relate to both.
Yeah.
So I think I definitely have elements of thinking from Gen Z, but mostly millennial. Yeah, because I think there is so much pressure all the time to be in the millennial era to work so hard and make your job your life.
Yeah, I definitely think that. I think a lot of people probably look at me, I'm not sure about you, and just think like, what the hell is she doing? Because they're just so climb up the corporate ladder route and they just don't understand that you can do other things outside of that.
I just always think there is more to life than work, and when you look back in the future when you're old, you're not going to remember those days that you worked really hard. You're going to remember the days that you were surrounded with your friends and family. So I think it's important to have that balance in mind and don't kill yourself over your job.
But this is where I actually think that people are feeling so anxious now, is because they're realizing all they do every day is Groundhog Day. They wake up, they go to work, they get on the train, they are at their desk for 8 hours, and they come home, they sleep, they eat. Like literally that's it every single day. And people are realizing like there's more to life than that.
And you know what's so sad? Because I think that's why it's important to have other passions outside of your work, because I hate New Year's, right? Like it always freaks me out because I think about how fast the year's gone, and that scares me. And I remember like once speaking to my dad about why is it that when you're an adult, time goes by so fast? Like you blink and 5 years is gone, whereas when you were a child, it felt like so much longer. And it's because now every day is the same. So our days merge into one because we wake up, we go to work, we come back home, and that's it, the day's gone, and then you just prepare to live it again. Yeah. So you need to add in new things into your day-to-day routine to make it actually stand out, so you can look back at last week and actually think, oh, I did this, I did that, rather than, oh, I can't remember
the same
what I did
thing.
last week.
Because we can never remember what we did.
Exactly.
That's so true.
So I think as well as your 9 to 5, because not everyone's going to love their 9 to 5 job as well, and not everyone can go after their passion or build a business or even knows what they want to do. So I think if you've got other interests, then you should definitely make sure you're doing those as well, and have hobbies and have more to you.
Yeah.
Be a more interesting person.
Yeah. But I learned this on Tuesday. It's not about being a more interesting person. It's being more interested. So being interested in other things all the time and other people, because that is what becomes interesting, right? Because you're being interested in other things. And I think we used to be like that prior to technology. We used to be interested all the time, and we used to be out doing things. And now everything just kind of feels the same.
And I also would say, like, if you happen to be in a job that you don't like, and you're hearing all this and you're like, oh, well, I can't really do anything because I'm stuck in this job, because it is hard to find a new job.
Yeah.
Find a creative outlet, like especially if you were a creative person, find something else that you can get passionate about, because for us with the podcast, for instance, you know, we do that after our work and it's so much fun and it just gives us that extra outlet. Doing something that isn't related to 9 to 5.
And what I think is, if you're like, oh, but I don't know what to do, I'm stuck, I don't know what excites me, I have a really good idea for you. So think about what you used to do when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And think about what made you light up inside. You used to do it, whether it was painting or building things or selling shells at your front door, like anything.
Selling shells.
Yeah, I used to paint like
I love that.
shells.
I think I would enjoy
and sell
that.
them. Yeah.
No, it's so true. And
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know if this is a byproduct of getting older, but I think I've got to a stage now where I'm more accepting of who I actually am and who I was when I was younger. And you almost return back to yourself, don't you? Like those old interests and passions that you used to have when you were little. I feel like I've said passion so much.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even notice.
My word of the podcast. But yeah, go back to that. For instance, I love drawing and I love art and I love painting and anything creative and crafty. And actually now more than ever, because we are in such a digital age and you keep hearing people talk about how important it is to have analog hobbies, that means that you're not scrolling or watching TV or essentially looking at a screen. So think about those hobbies that you could do that get you away from that. Because I think another reason for burnout is comparison and scrolling and just being exposed to so much more content. And yeah, it's really good that after work you have something else that you can do.
Yeah. We're going to start setting up a community for people in London who can join us and like get offline and start interacting and just having fun, going for walks, sip and paint, anything.
Yeah.
So if you are interested, follow us on Instagram or sign up to our newsletter below and we can send you a link directly to the event. Going back to like not making your personality, your job title. If people ask me what I do, before I used to like get confused because I wouldn't associate me just as a digital project manager or a marketing manager. So now I'm like, I'm a podcast host because I love doing that. It's something that really sparks me joy as well. So that's what I say is an identity. What about you?
Yeah, I hate that question.
Yeah.
What do you do when you first meet someone? Thank God I actually do find like what I do interesting.
Yeah.
But for instance, I like I said earlier, I think I am naturally a creative person, and in the past I've worked for more corporate companies. Like you don't necessarily want to be defined by that. You want to be defined by everything you do surrounding that. So yeah, I don't think work should be your identity.
No, definitely say who you think you are. Like, even if you're not monetizing off something as well, you know, if you're a painter, but you identify yourself as a painter or photographer, just say you're a photographer, because that's what you're good at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Everyone's version of success is different. So stop comparing yourself to other people and what they've achieved. Stop looking at LinkedIn promotions. Just focus on you and what your version of success is, because your version of success could be, you know, having a house and a baby, or it could be becoming an editor at your workplace, or just anything. It really depends. Like mine is becoming an entrepreneur one day, or just owning my own business.
Yeah, the definition of success has changed, and we've seen that move along in years. Because before, obviously, people expected you to stay at a job for a long period of time. Now it's normal to job hop and move around. And I just want to say, like, it's important, if you don't know what you want to do yet, it's okay to try new things and pivot. And I think a lot of people have multiple careers in their lives, so it's never too late to start again. You won't always, you know, be the youngest person in the room.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. As long as you're taking a chance on yourself and doing something that you think you will enjoy, that's all that matters, and you should pursue that.
Yeah, I love that. So many people think that because you've turned 30 means you've spent the last 8 years or whatever it is training up for one job or one thing. But you're allowed to pivot. You're allowed to change your career. If you want to change, you can do that. So don't be afraid. You're allowed to start again, like Senna said, and don't let age stop you from doing that.
Yeah, because I think if you don't ever take a chance on yourself and try something, then you'll look back and regret it.
Yeah.
Think about what you would do if money wasn't a factor. Think about what your skills and talents are, because you can do anything these days.
Yeah, you really can. We hope that this episode resonated with you. And if you did like it, please like, subscribe, and comment and save it for later.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.